What if the best medicine wasn't a pill or some complicated procedure, but just a simple conversation over a cup of tea? Today, let's step inside a quiet little tea house where a very wise master has a gentle but profound way of healing the kinds of wounds that no one else can see. So, right off the bat, I want you to think about this for a second. What is that one thing for you? We all have one, right? That little thorn. It's that persistent worry, maybe a regret or a hurt that just never seems to go away. It's the thing that keeps you from feeling truly at peace. In the story we're exploring today, this feeling has a name, the thorn of affliction. And wow, is that a perfect way to describe it, or what? It's that sharp, internal pain that you can feel so clearly, even if the rest of the world has no idea it's there. But the real question is, what if you could gently remove it? Okay, so our journey takes us to this little town called Ningxin, which actually means peaceful heart. And it's here in this town that we find a very special tea house and its remarkable master, a man who has perfected the art of healing these hidden thorns. Meet Qingfang Jushi. Now, he's not some kind of magician or a miracle worker. Think of him more as a guide. He's just someone who really understands the human heart and knows that sometimes the exact right words served with the exact right cup of tea can literally change everything. His secret, it's a method called IU, which translates to kind words. And listen, this is not about empty compliments or just telling people what they want to hear. No. These are wise, compassionate, and incredibly precise phrases that are designed to find the very root of a sorrow and gently pull it out. It's almost like psychological first aid. So, on this particular day, 3 guests wander into the tea house. Each one is carrying a seriously heavy burden. Their stories are all different, but their pain, well, that's something we can all probably relate to. And they're about to show us exactly how the master's method works. First up, we've got Wang, a successful merchant. Or he was. He's just been completely betrayed by his business partner and has lost almost everything. So his thorn isn't just about the money he lost. It's this burning, all-consuming rage and a deep desire to get revenge. Then there's Yor, a really gifted seamstress. Her thorn is slander. These vicious rumors are spreading, just destroying her reputation and her chances at finding love. And she feels totally powerless, She's trapped by words that aren't even true, but are still sharp enough to cut her deep. And finally, we meet Sun Wang, the town's most respected doctor. But as he's gotten older, his hands aren't as steady as they used to be, and his memory isn't quite as sharp. His thorn is this crushing fear of being useless, this feeling that his entire life's purpose is just fading away. So the master, Qingfeng Jushi, he just quietly observes them. He knows there's no one-size-fits-all cure here. Each of these thorns requires a completely unique prescription, and it all starts with a very specific cup of tea. For the merchant, Wang, whose heart is just blazing with anger, he serves an aged pu'er tea. This is this deep, earthy brew that's known for its ability to cool the body and calm the spirit. So the tea itself, that's step 1 in putting out that internal fire. Then comes the kind word. The master helps the merchant see his story in a totally new light. Instead of being a victim who was robbed, he learns to say this: I may have lost wealth, but I have gained experience. This is more valuable. That simple shift in perspective, wow, it turns a devastating loss into a priceless lesson. Now for the seamstress, Yor, whose thorn is this desperate need to prove she's innocent, the master serves a fragrant plum blossom tea, and its aroma is so pure, so delicate, it's like it's completely untouched by the dirt of the world. It's a perfect reflection of her true character. And the master's prescription for her? It's incredibly empowering. He gives her words that shift her source of self-worth from what other people think to what she knows is true. My integrity is not in someone else's mouth, but in my own heart. And just like that, her value isn't up for debate anymore. It's hers. That is how she takes her power back. For the old doctor, Sun Wang, who's just being crushed by this feeling of uselessness, the master prescribes a very light, clear bamboo leaf tea. It's a brew that's meant to lift the spirit and clear the mind of all those heavy, dark thoughts. And the master's kind words help the doctor see his own value beyond just his technical skills. He's not just someone who gives out medicine. He's a deep well of wisdom and compassion. This single sentence helps him redefine his entire identity, from a healer of bodies to a healer of hearts. But here's where things get really interesting. The healing doesn't just stop with the master. As these guests start to open up, a different kind of medicine appears in the tea house. They start to heal each other. The merchant and the seamstress, they suddenly realize that their thorns, they actually come from the same place, someone else's malice. And in that shared moment, they have this huge realization. By focusing all their energy on fighting back, on getting revenge or proving their innocence, they were actually letting that malice continue to control their lives. They were stuck in a prison of their own making. And then, in this really beautiful moment, the old doctor, the one who felt totally useless just a little while ago, he turns to the seamstress and offers his own wisdom. He tells her that focus, just dedicating herself to her beautiful craft, is the best medicine for her pain. And right there, in that instant, he becomes a healer again, but in a totally new and profound way. And in that moment, the doctor's own healing comes full circle. He gets it. He understands his new purpose. All his years of experience didn't just vanish, they've transformed into something even more precious, an invisible prescription of wisdom that he can now offer to others. Look, the story of the tea house is beautiful, for sure, but it's also a really practical guide, which brings up a big question. How can we use this in our own lives, right? How do we become our own tea master? Let's actually break it down. It really comes down to these 4 simple steps. First, you've got to be honest with yourself and actually name your thorn. What is it that's really hurting you? Second, acknowledge the pain. Don't push it away or pretend it's not there. Third, and this is the absolute key, reframe the story. Find a new angle, a new perspective, just like the merchant did. And finally, prescribe your own kind words, a simple, powerful phrase you can repeat to yourself, almost like a personal mantra. And this, right here, is the ultimate wisdom of the Worry-Free Tea House. The real power to heal isn't in some far-off, magical place or with some other person. It's in the words we choose to use, especially the words we choose to say to ourselves. Peace isn't a destination you have to search for. It's a home you can build right inside your own heart. So, that brings us to our final question for you. By practicing this simple art of kind words, by becoming your own guide, you really can build that peaceful tea house for yourself. So, what would that look like for you? Where is the place your heart can finally be at peace?